Well, we have a really good interview today, Robert Earl Dean. Who do we have with us today?
We are so excited to have this young man with us. He is known from the track and field world. Y'all know I love track and field. And I was at the California State Championship with CC, Charlize James. And I turned to my right side and saw this gentleman working with this hurdler. And I kept staring. I said, I know that face from somewhere. So after a while, I couldn't take it no more. I said, Kevin? He said, yeah. I said, oh, you're Kevin Craddock? He said, yes, I am. And today we have this gentleman. He's from the track and field world, and now he is a pastor. Ladies and gentlemen, former NCAA champion at UCLA, one of the top in the country at his craft, Pastor Kevin Craddock II. Welcome to the Wake Up Morning Show with Dr. L.T. and Robert Earl Dean.
Thank y'all for having me. I'm excited to be here. It's a wake-up show for sure.
Right, because you're on the West Coast with us, so it's early.
Right, I'm on the West Coast, so yeah, it's a wake-up show for sure. But I'm glad to be here. Glad that you all had me on.
So tell me, where are you pastoring at in the Bay Area?
At the Ebenezer Baptist Church of Berkeley. Yep, 1839 Woolsey Street, Berkeley, California.
All right. You know, I know something about that Berkeley area.
You do?
Hey.
Yeah. I actually was there for 6 years, you know, at the University of California, Berkeley.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to, I was a youth pastor over at Mingleton Temple Church of God in Christ in Oakland, and I'm still trying to, I'm looking for Pastor Avery. He was at the AME Church, and I'm trying to see if Pastor Avery, first name is Avery. For some reason, I'm black on his last name. But if you know an Avery there that's with the AME folks, tell him I hollered at him.
I'm going to look out for him.
Amen.
Let's talk about how did you get started in track and field?
Whew. I started when I was 5. My I actually the 3M track club, the historic 3M track club. My whole family ran for 'em. My cousins, my sister, everyone, and I went out there. My parents took me out there first day, and I ran and walked off the field like, nope, I'm not doing this. And then they actually I went with Oakland Pal and their program for the first year, and all my friends were there, all the little kids, we were all having fun, and then we saw that I had a little talent, and so the next year we showed back up at 3M practice, and they threw me out there. I was like, oh no, I'm going back to Pal. No, you're not. You're here. And then we got going on 3M, and it's never looked back. Never looked back.
Wow, you've been a champion from youth to high school. Let's talk about how you transitioned into high school, because you had a pretty exciting high school experience in track and field.
Yeah, so going into high school, we went to James Logan, which sits outside of Oakland a ways, about 45 minutes. So it was a heavy transition just socially in life to go from, culturally what as
Black
being
side
around you to the suburbs.
Right.
So, a whole different scene.
Well, hold on. You mean that they said that they sent you out to suburbia?
Yes.
Where they have green bean.
He was buzzed.
Where they have green bean casserole versus collard greens.
Look, yeah, we went all the way out to suburbia with Logan, and it was such a blessing though, because it was where we needed to be, and you don't know these things until, especially being young, until you look back at them.
Right.
And I wanted to go to Oakland Tech so bad. All my friends were going there. Everyone was that was the school. I want to go to Oakland
Dr.
Tech.
LT was counseling there. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. I wanted to go to Oakland Tech, but God led us out to James Logan, and it was incredible just going through that process of growth, being uncomfortable. We in high school, I'm uncomfortable, and I had to go through all of those areas of what I feel develops a true champion, a true overcomer. Learning how to be triumphant no matter where you are. No matter what situation you're in, and without knowing it, God was building me through those areas, and not just in track and field, but off the track also, and just learning socially who we are, and where we stand in the mix of everyone else. Right. You really start to see those things as you get older. And so in high school, it was being thrust into the melting pot that we know. Right. That was like, oh wow, this is right here. Going from Oakland to everybody now, not just cultural background of black and white per se, but now heavy. You're going to meet people from different countries. You're going to meet people from different areas. Sports means so much. It's so different in the mentality, the thinking, even the religion and the relationship with God, and just me really beginning to meet people. That was where I began to meet people who were like, I go to church, and it was like, oh, wow. Oh, man, you go to church. It wasn't just common conversation. And now you heard people, well, I have to go to church. Well, I have to go, and I was like, oh, okay, it's other people out here who do it like us.
Right.
We live our entire life and we go to church, and that was really big for me to see and for me to engage with. And really grow through, and it set a foundation for college, because we know how college years could get, it really set a foundation for college.
Well, I'm just going. First of all, I want to get some premise because of the fact that you're a pastor now and everything else that nature. Sin no more, praise the Lord. But no, I'll just tease you. So let me ask you this question: what part of the Bay Area did you actually grow up and live?
So our home was in San Pablo.
Okay.
It still is. That's actually where I am. I got up early and got to my parents' house, because my dad and I go to the gym in the mornings. So our home is in San Pablo. We did everything in our life in Oakland, in North Oakland, where our actual family hub is. My grandmother. Yeah, Bushrod, North Oakland. All my school, K through 8, was in North Oakland, and then high school was where we shipped all the way out to Union City. So we still living in the same place, commuting all the way through.
Is the Oakland Mall still there?
Oh yeah.
So let me ask you this question. My question to you is: what church did you grow up in when you were growing up as a kid?
Ebenezer.
Okay, so you're literally pastoring the church that you grew up in.
Mm-hmm. It's actually my great grandfather started the church.
Wow. Okay.
And then my goddad, he became pastor when my great grandfather passed away, and then my father became pastor when my godfather retired. And then my pastor, he's still my father's still our senior pastor. I'm the lead pastor as he recovers from his stroke. But yep, we right there, like North Oakland basically. So all of us are right there. It's South Berkeley, Ashby Bart Station. So we right across from there. Right on that, you cross the street and you're in Oakland.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yep.
Okay. I had to ask those questions because, I was a student that also bust out too. So I understand being bust out and doing the different things. So my question to you is, how many brothers and sisters did you have?
I have one older sister. We're 14 months apart.
Okay. So you're 14 months apart. Did she bust with you?
She actually started school a year early.
So and she was the
she went into kindergarten real early, And so she was 2 years up in school. And so she actually went ahead of me. She actually went to the school far before, freshman year. And that's how we kind of, oh, well, it's not looking like it's going to be tech.
Okay.
Right. And she was an accomplished athlete as well in basketball, I believe.
Yep, basketball and track and field.
Track and field too?
Track was her first thing. She went to UW on a track scholarship and switched it over to basketball that first week that she got there.
Wow, so athletics run in your family, it seems.
Yep, Nate Robinson.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna ask some questions.
Yep.
So, is your sister still in Oakland too?
She's back in the Bay. She moved back after she graduated University of Washington.
Okay, so my question is, see, I don't know how, I took Mark Sanford to the University of Washington to play basketball, but here's the thing I want to ask you. On the court, you and your sister, who gonna win?
Man, let me tell you, they called her Machine Gun in Seattle. Okay. In the Pac-10, they called her Machine Gun because she was the 3-point shooter. Okay. My sister is a basketball player. I'm a track runner. I'm gonna tell you that now. Even if we get on the court right now, everything I do, she'll throw that ball in the air, and like Steph Curry, it goes in. I don't know how. I didn't get the touch. I didn't. I throw the ball in the air, and it might break the backboard.
Right.
Yeah, the basketball just like really, you really gonna try that shot?
Man, no. Hey, I was known for getting technicals, not points. God was working on my attitude through basketball.
Right. So how did you both bypass Berkeley, Stanford? You went to UCLA. She went to University of Washington. All Pac-10 schools, though. But how did those coaches let y'all get past them to the other schools?
Well, first of all, because I don't know how you got past Berkeley. We already know that Stanford is retarded, and we already know that. So we'll just talk about Berkeley and the other schools because Stanford doesn't exist in our book.
Well, the funny thing was Berkeley didn't recruit either one of us.
Wow.
They didn't really recruit. I mean, they had Bay Area athletes, but it was rare during that time that they were recruiting and getting the Bay Area stars.
That's why they weren't so good.
And we're going after other people. They didn't even come after us, and they used to say it's because we don't go there. A lot of the local athletes in track and field don't choose them. The star, SC and all of them are attractive.
The powerhouses.
Attractive
the powerhouses.
Yeah. And so they don't even come after us, but they don't I almost stayed at home to go to Stanford. So I didn't.
Okay.
But Kevin,
and my wife went to Cal. So
your wife. See, there you go.
So, but Kevin, neither one of those schools were that great of prominence in track and field. So I kind of understand both sides.
Yeah, and so it was. It was a little I feel like jab at us. They didn't recruit heavily from our high school, and our high school at the time, was the program that in Northern California
for track?
That you pulled from.
Ooh, that name, yes, when you said the name, they are known for track.
James Logan.
But the schools have so much recruitment dollars, and what happens is that when you keep going after your local students and they keep turning you down because, L.A., were you in the Bay Area, any place else to go to Tinseltown? Or, say, for instance, I was recruited heavily for San Diego, but, I wanted to go away to school.
Well, that's the case with most kids.
Exactly.
Like even for San Diego State, they get a lot of kids from the Bay Area who bypass those schools to come here, and vice versa. Our kids leave here to go there.
Oh, yep.
So
That's what you see. You usually see a switch.
Right. How'd you get to UCLA? Who recruited you? Joe, was Coach Smith the coach then? Who was the coach
Tony
then?
Vini.
Who?
Tony Vini.
And he was the hurdles coach?
Yep, Tony Vini. And they actually, UCLA was my dream school. So I used to, when I was little, I used to talk about I was going to UCLA. I used to have hoodies and sweats. And I mean, when I was a little kid.
You spoke that thing.
And man, listen, and they were actually my first letter in high school. My freshman year, UCLA wrote me a letter, and I still have it to this day. And I was like, okay, I almost didn't entertain them though when they were calling me, and I wasn't picking up because I had started with other schools in SC and Florida, and they were telling me, oh, UCLA doesn't give out full scholarships, and I was listening to them because I'm being real. I don't know and I had heard from other people, oh, UCLA doesn't really give scholarships and all these things.
They say that.
And so when Coach Vini finally got a hold of me again, he was like, why haven't I been able to talk with you? I said, well, I'm going to just be honest. They said you guys don't give full scholarships, and I can't pay for school. I don't want to put anybody in debt.
Right.
And he was like, oh, usually we don't give full scholarships, but we're giving you a full scholarship.
Okay, let's talk about that, because I'm a high school coach, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
For parents that are listening who may have kids that are good in sports, we finna give you a lesson right quick. People have a misconception about Division I. Division I, you got to go Division I. You got to go Division I. Division I only recruits pretty much nothing but the top of the top in the various sports. Let's talk about that, because parents need to know. Everybody think little Johnny and little Tay-Tay is Division I, and they may not be, but that's not a bad thing, because you can go to the NBA, you can go to the top in baseball, track and field from unknown schools.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And to even just show you, we had Kevin Young, the world record,
world record 400
hurdles. He was a walk-on
at UCLA.
He was a walk-on at UCLA. Mm-hmm. He was a walk-on. So it's not the scholarship that gives you the talent, and it, because you're going to, getting recruited is a whole process that I feel they don't prepare parents or the athlete for, really, to make a really sound decision. Come on. Because there's so much that they throw in your way because they're trying to win you.
Every school.
It doesn't matter. Every school. It's the one thing I can say about my coach, my actual event coach, Coach Vini, he was who he said he was from the jump, and that's who we got. Can't say that for everybody. Can't say that for every administrator that I met going on there.
Yep.
I tell you, I had to reintroduce myself to people because I didn't know who they were when I got on campus, because that's not who I met.
Right.
And then they had to meet who I was. I'm just not the one who will be ran over, and you just going to do certain things or move a certain way against me. It's not who I am. So that's not who God planted. Exactly. That's I grew up with knowing value, knowing worth, knowing the importance of standing up for yourself and not being just maneuvered or controlled for somebody else.
Because it's a business. People don't realize Division I, Division II, whatever it is, NAIA, these coaches' jobs are on the line.
Yep.
If you get there and don't produce, if you get there and act a fool, cause disruption, they will not tolerate it, because their job is on the line. When they get you there, it's pretty much like they're your parent away from home. And anything happens, bad or good, is put on the coaches. That's why I tell these parents, I talk to my track kid parents, and I tell them the real deal. You better go to a school that fits you.
Yep.
Not the name, because every school is going to tell you what they're good for. You got to go with your heart, and if you feel comfortable there, if you feel that it's going to be conducive to your development as a human being. That's why I like Sheila Barrera at San Diego State. USC, LSU, all those are wonderful schools. But I know for a fact how Sheila Burrell works on the full person in her women's program, and those young ladies leave as fully prepared young ladies for the world.
Yep.
And she develops them. At some of these schools, you're nothing but a number. If you don't do well, deuces, they jump to the next person. Let's talk about that, because UCLA, when you went there, was a top powerhouse in men and women's track.
Yeah, we were becoming known at the time as like Hurdle University.
Yep.
Because every hurdler had started going there, or at least signing and spending a year and then kind of seeing, I need to transfer.
Right. It was tough.
And it was very tough. It was very tough, because you are a number. You are. I tell people all the time right now, NCAA programs, who I was then for where they are now, they wouldn't give me a full scholarship. Now I would find few programs that who I was would give me a full scholarship now, because I was doing one event. I wasn't really branching out. I wasn't really stepping out. I was doing those 110 hurdles, and I was doing them well, and I was sticking to that. And now you have to be able to score a bucket of points across the board from all the scoring meets.
Right.
You know, they begin to add that up, and they want to know that the money they are going to give you, they're going to get a return.
Come on.
Not a possibility, not a, oh, we're going to help you become good over the next 4 years. They usually want a return in 1 to 2 years.
Right.
You know, and if not, they're slashing money left and right.
They're going to force you to leave. They're going to force you to want to transfer.
They force you out. That's one of their ways of forcing you out.
Yes. Come on, teach us.
Well, my dear brother, Pastor, my question is, what is your thoughts now that college athletes are able to actually receive funds? What is your thoughts on that?
I support it. I think it's going to be a long process to really understand how it works best for the athlete. And I do believe that it'll still be a battle to keep it, because they're going to challenge it. I think the NCAA is going to challenge it in every way possible. Even if it stands, they're going to challenge on how to get portions of it from the athlete. Yeah, they're going to battle for that, because what we're going to see is eventually more and more money leaving NCAA's pocket and shifting either to those athletes or to those programs directly.
Yes.
And that's where I think they're going to come in and really try to format it in such a way that they receive too.
But let me ask you this question. But don't you think that it kind of levels the playing field, because some of those schools were paying the athletes anyway?
I mean, it can level. What I think it does good, or what it's good for, is it makes more opportunity for the athlete. Meaning they're not forcing you to go and sit on the bench at this big school because you know that's how you're going to get funding or get provision for this journey, and then get out to the NFL, NBA, pro circuit, whatever it is. I think what they're doing, what it'll allow the athlete to do, is choose a different school, choose an HBCU, choose their parents' alma mater.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to allow them to begin to choose different schools that they may not have had in play before. And heavy on the HBCU. I think they're going to benefit big time in seeing their athletes flow in that direction, as we see. I mean,
Deion Sanders.
our community is getting behind Deion Sanders, as we should, we should.
Yes.
You know, it's been far too long that our talent has been not just suppressed or oppressed,
pimped,
but controlled,
pimped.
and pimped
and prostituted.
And yep. And so now it's we're at the moment where we are seeing a shift away from that.
Yes.
And hopefully it can keep shifting until it's complete. But we know, you know, it's all a money game, and the powers to be will always try to stay in power.
Well, the NCAA, to me, I call them modern day mafia. They want everything to be through them, but then they have loopholes in their system.
Yep.
Now God is turning things around where the people that you use in their image years later, the people that you use their image forever, is down partaking in their own imaging.
Yep.
Which is fair. How could I do a video game with Kevin Craddock going over hurdles and he sees no residuals?
Right.
That's not right.
Right. And you're talking about billions of dollars.
Billions, TV
it's not,
bills.
you know, it's not like they making, you know, the T-shirt money on the corner that they selling the Warrior shirts for that they made in their garage. No, you're talking about life, family, wealth changing money, legacy changing money. You're talking about generational wealth.
Yes.
It's, you know, this right here is a problem. It's because that generational wealth was going somewhere else.
Yes.
And to be honest, to generations that didn't do anything like this to get it.
Right.
And so that's where I feel the problem really was lying, in that the equity was just continuing, that equity gap was continuing to get bigger through this system, this system right here. I lost light. Yeah, look, that's the one thing. You come to a different house, turn the light on. I'm sorry.
Mama, Daddy, look, turn the light on. I'm doing an interview.
We hear you.
The switch. Okay, good.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what I believe.
Well, my thing is too, with the NCAA, and let's go to USA Track and Field. They're corrupt as well.
Yep.
Our athletes are the best in the world for track and field, and we don't have a union for them. They have many of them are working jobs trying to represent that red, white, and blue flag, and they see none of the money. It goes to the higher officers with the USA Track and Field. Let's talk about that, because I know my friend Von Ware and Tyree Washington were really fighting to get equal play for a long time.
Right. I think unfortunately, we haven't figured out a well-working system. It was either pay them too much or pay them not enough, you know, because we went through, to be fair, we went through generations where they were just giving money away, you know, to big time athletes that were running well at nationals, NCAAs, college kids. We went through a period of time where it was like the college boom, and the shoe companies were giving contracts to college athletes left and right. Like, I mean, good, stable contracts. And then even in some when we saw greatness touch the track, you know, then those shoe companies started throwing boatloads of money. And what started happening was they wouldn't get a medal, or they weren't making teams the next year. They weren't hitting times after a couple years. They were getting in trouble. They were disappearing. And then all of a sudden, all that money for those few years that those shoe companies were just throwing at all these college athletes, it just got cut. Like, it's hard to get now. It's hard to get. So it was either we just gonna give you abundance, or we gonna give you pennies and make it really hard to get. I think we're still trying to find this balance in the sport of track and field in the United States. And yeah, I think it's going to take leadership that is focused on the development of the athlete, honestly. Because if you're focused on the development of the athlete, then you honestly can't say that this is enough.
So let me ask you this question. I'm hearing you navigate this now from a person that has already been through it. Tell me the role that your parents played in you navigating your career, because a lot of times we talk, but many times we leave the parents out, and I think that that's very important for those parents that are listening to hear how your parents helped you navigate a very successful career, as well as your sister.
Yeah. My parents, they were the foundation of many of my decisions, and it's funny because even as I was choosing school, what I saw when I was trying to choose a college, I dealt with a lot of coaches who were trying to take my parents out of the decision. And they were verbally saying, like, you have to make this decision, not your parents. You have to make this decision, not your parents. And they didn't know the type of person that my parents raised. Right. And I'm like, well, my parents have been leading me and helping me make decisions for 18 years.
Right.
So this decision, the biggest decision at this time in my life, I'm going to go to the wisdom that was given to me through these years, that the reason why you're able to recruit me is because of my parents.
Positioning.
Not because I stayed disciplined, but my parents stayed with the plan. Right. They kept giving me the plan. They kept guiding the plan. They kept taking me here and putting me in front of people here and making sure I ran here. And my parents had the plan. They kept me focused. They kept me. I didn't know how to keep myself out of trouble. My parents did.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so my parents guided me in this area, and that was one huge factor in me making a decision on which school I go to. Was when I saw, like, man, they're really trying to get me to take my parents out of this decision.
Red flag.
Now this decision became mine, because you don't know the type of person my parents raised.
Right.
This is my decision that I'm not going there, and that's big and heavy and in life in general. Keep the guidance of the elders. Even the Bible tells us, go to the elders and get help.
Come on, preach it, brother.
But it's funny when they tried to exclude your parents and told you that it was your decision to make. They literally helped you make the decision, because you're like, oh, okay, you don't understand my upbringing. And so since you don't understand my upbringing, we definitely ain't going to get along. So God bless you.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments where I was like, how do I say this in the nicest way possible?
Right.
Because these coaches get aggressive, and the coaches, I've had multiple coaches start getting aggressive with me, especially in recruiting. And I was 17. And that's the crazy part. You're getting this aggressive with a 17-year-old. Starting to throw threats. We go, next time we see you, we going to dog you on the track. We going to do this or that. Man, look. Okay.
Old-town. Come on, Old-town.
I don't know what else to tell you. We've been racing. I've been racing all these people on your team all these years. So if you think they're about to start beating me now, it's.
See, they didn't know that you had some Holy Ghost thug in you.
Man,
that's
the
he
thing.
got some Oakland in him. There's some Rough Riders.
I tell people said, how did you wind up at Berkeley? I said, Berkeley was probably the smartest recruiting people that had ever came to me and sought to recruit me. And it was because they were smart enough to understand who I was. And so they actually met me at church and did my whole recruitment right there. They stayed. They went through the whole church service, and they stayed at church and everything, and they did a recruitment of me in the church chapel after service.
Yep. And see, you got to know that.
Yeah, and then I remember Lynn Baranko saying to my mother, she said, I will personally watch out for the success of your son. If he don't like the dormitory that he selects, I had a choice because I was on full ride. He said he can come stay with me and my family until he gets comfortable. And my mama said, all right, I'm going to hold you to it. And they were true to their word, to everything that they promised. They did exactly with that. But like I said, they met me in the zone where they knew I was at, and that was church.
Yep.
So let me ask you this question. Now, we done talked about your mama, your daddy, your experiences. But you mentioned that your wife went to Cal, so I know that she must be a wonderful, God-fearing, lovely woman. Let's talk about how you all two got together. Do you have children? And is life wonderful for you because you married that Cal woman? Praise the Lord.
Life is wonderful because I married that Cal woman.
Good one. Good answer. Good answer.
She was actually a track and field athlete for Cal.
What?
And,
now what's her name?
Candy Craddock. Now it was Candy Bonte then.
Okay.
Yep, she ran track and field for Cal.
What?
One of their All-Americans. Yeah,
What?
All-American sprinter. Yep. And I invited her to church in college when I was at UCLA, and she was at Cal. And I was coming home for one of the weekends, and I had invited her, and she didn't come. And she was like, oh, but I'm going to come next time, or I'm coming a different time. Then I saw her at like a track at one of the championship meets. I think it was like 2008, my junior year. I saw her at the Pac-10 meet and talked to her for a little bit. And then she stopped responding to all my messages. And then I actually bumped back into her when I moved home in 2012 to train. I was at the gym, and one of my good friends was like, oh, yeah, one of my friends is cooking tonight. I'm about to go over to her house and eat with them. And I was like, oh, who? And he was like, oh, she used to run for Cal. Her name's Candy. I was like, oh, I know her. And I was like, oh, I'm about to come. And he was like, well, let me call first and see. Right. I said, man, I know her.
Right.
But then I went over there that night, and we reconnected.
Wait a minute. You went over there that night. Let's get some details. How was the food? And what did she cook?
It was good. She made fried chicken, mac and cheese, her little famous cornbread that she had pride in, and all some greens, and she threw down. And she made real fried chicken, like real fried chicken in the skillet with the.
All right. Was it a cast iron skillet?
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Yeah, come on.
So did you go back home before you started running pro or after that was all done?
I went back home when I was in the middle. So I switched. I did 2 years, 2010, 20. I did a year. I did a year professionally. And then, I did a full year professionally. And then I moved back to the Bay Area and I ran 6-7 years. Then I did the remaining of my years out here in the Bay Area.
Wow, so you was a pro that long?
Mm-hmm.
That's a long career for any sport.
From 2010 to 2016. Mm-hmm.
So
wow.
So that meant that you traveled all over the world. And you experienced it. So let me just ask you this question, and this is really serious, and I want you to really meditate on this before you answer.
Oh, Lord.
What was your all-time favorite place that you had gone to? What was the place that you never want to ever see again?
I knew you was going to say that.
And where did you have the best food? And then last one, and what was the weirdest thing you ate?
Oh, okay. Okay, the first one was the best place to me is Dusseldorf, Germany.
Germany?
Yeah, I love that whole city, that whole area. It's just a beautiful place, beautiful people, beautiful churches, incredible. And it just, I mean, they have festivals every time we go. Every time I go, I feel like they're having a festival. Everybody's just happy. And they all just eating sausages and stuff. But that was my all-time favorite. A place I was like, oh, I'll never go again. I might have wiped it from my memory.
Willie Coach of Georgia.
Because I'm not right. I mean, every place we kind of went, my agent was really, really, really good. And he was really good about, the standard of that he kept with his athletes. So we didn't have any terrible experiences.
Wow, that's good.
I've had other people have terrible experience, but my agent, he's so well oiled and moving about that it was like, no, we don't go to those. We don't do that because he knows the experience.
Let my athlete only stay in 4 to 5-star hotels if they don't have 24-hour room service plus Wi-Fi and a butler.
Plus a shuttle bus to take them where you need to go.
Plus a butler, they don't go.
Right.
They running track, not running for their life.
You sound like Bob Kersey's athletes.
Yeah.
I felt every bit of that with my agent, and that's why I stuck to his side and didn't go anywhere.
Right.
Because he never led me astray with where we were staying, where we were at, all of that. And then for what was the next one?
The weirdest thing you ever ate?
Oh, I was in Daegu, South Korea, and they were like, oh, there's lasagna over there. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I went and got the lasagna. I was like, okay, it's a little vegetable lasagna, a little mushroom lasagna. And everybody wasn't getting it. And I was like, I like mushroom. So I'm gonna eat the lasagna. And I was just eating the lasagna. And they were like, oh, you like that? Some of the athletes sitting at the table with me. And I was like, yeah, y'all don't like the lasagna? I'm still thinking it's just mushroom. They don't like mushroom. Right. And they were like, I mean, we like lasagna, but we don't like snail lasagna.
What?
I didn't know. I went back and looked. They put slugs in the lasagna. I thought they were mushroom.
He was tearing it up.
I was tearing them up.
Right.
And
but did it taste good?
Until I found out what they were.
They should have never told you.
Now, when I found out what they were, I was in trouble. I was like, oh, now I'm going to be sick.
Right.
So now your wife, you said, was a world-class athlete also. Was she touring or running all over like you were running?
Nah, she stopped after college. When she graduated, she went straight into that workforce and had got a good job. Cal.
Yeah.
She left there. And them Cal alumni, y'all like the roots of everything. And she was gone.
Okay.
So how'd you transition into pastoring? Because that was when you told me you was a pastor, that was a big thing.
2012, I actually started preaching in 2012. That year that I moved back, I had actually heard from God, and I started preaching that year. Along the way, you begin to see that God he was preparing you all
along
the time to get ready for where you are, like through everything in your life. And I went into coaching, and it was something I knew I was good at just naturally from the development of my life, just dealing with people in track and helping my teammates. And it was something I knew I was good at. So I went into coaching. I had success in coaching. I had Mecca McGlaston and Rihanna Collier and a couple others really explode, win state championships, have some really good times. Then I started coaching at Laney College.
Oh yeah, they had a good program.
Great success there, and then my high school pulled me all the way back to James Logan, and we had some good success that year. And I just paying attention. Now I saw that, wow, God really prepped me. He really got me. When I was working Laney, I was learning how it was just a women's program, mainly women of color and young women coming out of high school didn't get that big scholarship or didn't have the grades necessarily, and they're going after it. They're correcting stuff. They're focused, locked in on what they need, and it helped me really start to deal with young ladies from foster care, young ladies from abusive households, young ladies with all types of backgrounds. Now, personally, I now am in their life, you know, helping them navigate at practice, not just these hurdles, but, you know, how can I get over this hurdle when my life looks like this?
Come on, man.
You know, and now we have to navigate life first before you can jump a hurdle at practice, you know, and God began to show me, I have you coaching people. I have you maneuvering their hearts in such a way that they turn towards me to find what they need. And I went from Laney with 6 women to now high school with 400 athletes on my team and 400 high schoolers, Jesus, you know, and many of them going through the transitions of this day, you know, with their life. And it kept coming right back to now I have groups of them going through the same thing and groups of them trying to figure out how to make it through this practice when things off of this track are going wrong. And so now as a group, I'm trying to figure out how to move groups forward. And while I was in the middle of teaching and coaching there, my dad suffered a massive stroke. Jesus. And in that moment, I was thrust right into the leadership position. And being able to watch him over the years, be behind him, and watch just for generations what goes on, happens, how we maneuver, how we move, that all helped. But what God did in my coaching, in my sports, the discipline he taught me all the way back when I was 5, that he began with me, that is what built the leader. And so it was just God allowing the timing, me to meet the timing. You know, he built me to meet that appointed time that he already had laid out. And I just thank him for allowing me to have enough wisdom to say yes when it was time to say yes. You know, I couldn't imagine pastoring or leading a flock without those years of me trying to move 400 kids to attract me. You know, I can't imagine what pastoring would have been like if I wouldn't have had these young ladies coming in trying to settle something that was on such a personal level. We got to close the door. You know, it's these things that really prepared me to look at the now differently.
So this is a wellness. How is mom and dad doing now?
They're doing good. They're doing good. My dad, as I say, we go to the gym twice a week. He does his physical therapy. Yes. He's up walking, talking, moving, everything. Mom's doing well. You know, God is blessing. God is blessing. You know, he don't leave out blessings on his soldiers, even if they have to go through it.
Yeah. So you have been married now for how long?
For 6 years, about to be 7 years.
Any children?
Yes, one son, a third, Kevin the third.
All right. I feel that because I'm the third too. My last question, and I'm going to turn it over to Robert Earl for this. My last question is, do your wife still use the cast iron skillet that she made you the chicken with when she met her back in the day?
See, we've been using my grandmother's now.
Okay.
We use my grandmother's now.
So make sure you tell your wife, right on. Go Cal.
Right on. Yeah. I'll make sure.
Yeah, I think it's great. One of my athletes, Sonia Redun, just graduated from Berkeley in 3 years. She was a hurdler and had a good stint.
And, you know, they don't tell us that either. And I tell my athletes that I'm glad you said that, because parents and athletes need to know you can get out in 3 years, and that 4th year eligibility, you can start your master's program and
through the school.
Through that scholarship.
And have
they
them
don't
pay
tell
for
us
it.
these
And have them
things.
pay for it.
We have to and have them pay for it, and they don't tell us this, and we got to maneuver to find it. They stretch us out and give you summer. Don't take too many classes.
Yes.
Don't do this. Don't do that. And they stretch you out. They don't tell you because they don't. We have the capacity. We've been doing this. We have the capacity to continue our education, finish it, and continue our education.
Correct.
So.
But you won't know unless they tell you.
You won't know.
Well, brother, it's been great talking to you. I feel like I've gone down memory lane because, love the Bay Area. Bay Area has so much great culture and music and great people. Although y'all done messed up over there by Merritt's and got rid of all the places the church folks used to go and eat at, we ain't going to tell you. I even heard y'all got rid of Chauncey's.
Got rid of every man, left and right, stuff disappearing.
They got Yoshi's though.
Look different.
They got Yoshi's. It's a hot spot for music.
I'm just talking about the stuff I grew up in, and I'm gonna leave you with this last bit of anecdote. I went to Chauncey's one day because for Berkeley, you could go upscale. It was still cost effective, and I got there and they was having some type of music night and everything. And I was cool, and so one of my friends said, you want a Long Island iced tea, right? Now I'm a church boy, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. So
iced tea.
Long Island iced tea. Yeah, go get me a Long Island iced tea. So I'm sipping on the Long Island iced tea, and I'm like saying, can I ask y'all a question? Why it got good flavor to it? What's going on there? Uh-huh. And they all laughing, and then somebody leaned over and said, it got alcohol in it. And I said, oh. And I passed it back on. I said, you can have mine.
Are you sure? Tell the truth.
I had taken a big little sip out of it.
You confessed with us. Did you kind of go a little longer? It's okay.
See, I was saved. I was saved.
I was saved too.
I was saved. I
was saved too. But you was in college. And we doing a lot of stuff we didn't do at home.
I was in the preacher mode. I was saved. I was Church of God in Christ saved.
I was Church of God in Christ saved too.
Hey.
Wait a minute.
You was born into it.
Yeah, you
I was too.
So Robert, you was sipping in college?
No, I didn't do it in college. In high school,
you sipped early?
Sipped my senior year at Lincoln High School. With a few of my friends, I almost called their names, but the Holy Ghost just stopped me. Yes, and I was really, I was really saved at Lincoln. I was one of the only ones.
Brother, I want you to go get the pictures back when he was in high school. He was still wearing hard bottom shoes.
I was sanctified.
The school every day, and when he got his first pair of jeans, they all applauded.
Yeah, in 10th grade. Yes, I was at a football game. I sung the national anthem, and they started clapping. Yes. Because
before then, he just had on cologne, hard bottom shoes, and slacks.
Now, I have one more question. Kevin, who are some of your favorite gospel artists, since we are a Christian gospel radio station?
That don't sip.
We've been shaved from shipping.
Man, of course, Ty get you working out.
He got some new stuff.
His new stuff is fire. Always Kurt Franklin and Fred Hammond and John P. Key, the crew. That old school crew. And I anything they do, they have a supporter in me because they were with me through those changes of life. And then of course the new age, this Maverick City and Jacqueline Carr.
Yeah.
They tearing us up. And I follow them closely. And they're always in my ear. Hey, I love what y'all do because it's important. I don't think people understand what the music you intake is important, and it can change your life.
Right.
No matter what music it is, it can change your life. So and I'm a firm believer in that.
Now, did you go to church in Los Angeles while you were in school? What church did you attend?
Oh yes. The first 2 years I went to church every Sunday, but the first 2 years I did my college church. So I wanted to just be hidden. So I went to West Angeles because you can hide.
That's his family's church. Charles Blake is his cousin.
Oh yeah.
Bless you.
Yeah, I was there for 2 years, and then God was like, "You need to stop hiding. I need you to do something
To work.
And so then I attended Messiah Baptist Church on West Adams.
Oh, West Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And I served there over their music department, and then over the music department for the LA district.
Wait.
You do music since when?
Since I was young. Since my parents started me playing the trumpet when I was in the fourth grade and third grade, and then by the time my middle school, actually, it was when arts
Yes.
huge. It was huge for as the funding. So we had at the time the best. He had just got awarded National Music Teacher of the Year.
Wow.
And he taught us how to read music, how to write music, and I was one of the best trumpet players. I played all the way through high school, and then I put it down, but I kept with the music. So like I could tinker on the piano a little bit, I could write, all that stuff. So
wow, man, now I really learned something new with the music stuff. I didn't know that you could do all the
my
music
sister
stuff.
taught herself how to play the organ. She our organist.
So let me.
We got to go down to the Bay Area, bro. We got to go. We got to go.
Yeah, see, that's why, I knew we had kindred spirits, because I started playing the trumpet at fourth grade.
Yep.
In the church and at school, and, went through there. But I actually became a touring trumpeter. So when I was in the Bay Area,
Yeah.
I was playing with James Mitchell and the Mitchell Singers. I was playing with Lawrence Matthews. I was playing with a lot of different people up in the Bay Area, and that's why I loved it, because you could finish your college off Friday in the morning time, then you was on the road doing your thing. So yeah, we're gonna have to come up there,
And we got to bring him and his wife down here for one of our events.
Yes, we're gonna have to do that. In the third. Don't forget the third.
Right. 'Cause
Listen, he coming.
Yeah, we got to connect him and his teammate Sheila Burrell.
Yeah.
Yes, she's gonna love this.
Well, brother, we really appreciate your time, getting up early, sharing your life stories. Again, as pastoring in your journey, we know that the best is yet to come. We want to thank you, and we just want to ask you to do a little favor for us. When you have an opportunity, if you could tell all your congregation, because you're the pastor, I want you to get up there on the next time you get the big congregation. Say, now, saints of God, now I want you to be blessed. And the reason why I want you to be blessed is because you need to have good music in your life. And so I want you to pull out your phone. Pull out your phone right now.
For free.
In the name of Jesus. And we're going to bless you right now with something for free. We're going to ask you to download GODRadio1.com. If you can't get that, just say God Radio 1, because God is number one in your life. So God Radio, the number 1.com. And there's going to be a free app on your Android or your Apple, and you will have 24 hours of gospel music, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Music.
And you will also can set your alarm so it'll wake you up in the morning or put you to sleep at night. Now, if you will do that for us, Pastor, I believe that the Lord will have an overflow for you.
I believe overflow too.
Listen, so you got it.
Yeah.
You got it. We gonna get subscribers, new subscribers.
Come on, Pastor Craddock.
Yeah. I'll be like this, Pastor Craddock. We're gonna have to you have your 30-minute power preach word on the show.
He should be on here. We should get him on here. Yeah.
So he could be midday,
and he'd be for young people because he has a young spirit.
Amen.
We'll have to talk to him offline.
I'll hook you up with him.
Yeah. Well,
Amen.
Pastor,
y'all got my number.
I sure do.
Thank you so much for coming on GOD Radio 1.
Yes.
Robert, any final words?
No, man, I just appreciate you. It wasn't just half circumstance that I turned around to talk to you, because we both was working with hurdlers. I was over there with Cece, who won the state championship, praise the Lord. And he was working with a hurdler, I think a male hurdler.
Yep.
And how did he do at the state meet? I don't remember.
Got third.
See? Father, Son, Holy Ghost.
Yeah, in the name of Jesus.
So I appreciate you for being so willing, and you were so kind, and we talked it up, not knowing that God had bigger things for all of us. So thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Amen. Hey, I'm always ready to find our team. Look, we everywhere.
Amen. Amen.
Yes.
Amen. With that being said, we have none other than
the one and only pastor, world-class runner, Dr. Kevin Craddock II.
Right here on GOD Radio 1.com.